Yeah, answer Sutapa Mataji's question that as to who is singing that. That is our little Rohini Mataji from ISKCON of Silicon Valley. I had asked her that if she can give us a nice, little snippet so that I could play that before we start the call if I'm reading. So she agreed to do that. She's a fantastic, fantastic
Yes,
girl.
Mataji. It's so
And
beautiful.
all that I have to tell you about her is that her Annaprashan, when they eat the first grain ceremony, she's now in college, but her first grain ceremony was done by Vaisheshika Prabhu. So when she had the sweet rice with his hands, and I always tell her that, you ate that sweet rice, that's why you sing so sweetly. But anyway, so let's see if our order keeper is here or not. Okay, no. So are you able to see
Yes, Mataji.
the Vigyapti Panchika prayers?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can you? Can somebody say yes or no? I'm not able to.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
You can
Mataji, we
see
can
that?
see
Okay.
it.
All right, perfect. So I'd also like to welcome Renu Kondi Mataji, Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, and the Vesh Prabhu is watching us, the Vesh Prabhu, which is Divyanam is his new name. And then Bhagyashri Mataji, so happy to have you, as well as Neha Mataji and Yadurani Mataji. And of course, here with me in our studio are Sutapa Mataji, Preeti Radhika Mataji, and maybe we can use that as the reading order. Well, anyway, Suyash Prabhu is there, so I don't have to bother about that. I'm sharing the screen. He will set up the order. He will put it on chat or whatever new technology is using to do that. But without much ado, we will get going on the Vigyapti Pachika prayers here. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Matsamo nasti papatma na paradhi cha kaschana parihare pi lajjame kim bhuve purushottama yuvati nam yatha yuni yunam cha yuvato yatha mano bhi ramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvai bhumau skhalita padanam bhumirevavalambanam त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेवा शरणं प्रभु गोविन्द वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वामहं सदा त्वदीयम् इति जानातु गोविन्दो मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निज पादाब्जा दास्य माह्यं प्रदीयताम्. Okay, and I think on your chat windows we have got the reading order. So we will go with the translations now.
Okay, Mataji, I think I am starting. O
Okay.
Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. How can I describe my shame? Just as the mind of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the mind of a young man take pleasure in a young woman, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone.
Just as the ground is the only support for those whose feet have slipped, you alone are the only shelter for those who have offended you.
O Srimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants.
Who comes
O,
after that?
O Srimati Radharani, O Queen of Vrindavan, you are a river flowing with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service at your lotus feet.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Okay, so reflections.
Radhe Vrindavana Karunamrita Bahini.
All right, Radha Vrindavanadishe Karunamrita Vahini. Very nice.
O Queen of the Vrindavan, follow the Karuna or Kripa in
Karunamrita Vahini.
Karunamrita Bahini means Karuna means the mercy, and it should you should just let the mercy follow.
The Karuna Vritavani. So she's a nectar of Karuna, right? Like that. Nectar of mercy. Amrit is nectar, and then mercy is Karuna, right? Vahini is one
It's
who's carrying
flowing.
it, and actually she carries it a lot, so she is the river. She's the river of nectar. That's how it's translated there. Okay, good. All right, so I see a few more devotees joining us. So Suyash Prabhu, you might want to redo your reading order, and I'm going to move to the Bhagavad Gita here. Chapter number 1, and whoever needs to go in next after I start sharing my screen with you here before I get rid of some of the things that are there. And here it comes. Let me know. Can you see it or you can't?
We can.
Perfect. And then
Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra desiring to fight, what did they do?" Sanjaya said, "O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad. Here in the army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhim and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhan, Virat, and Drupad.
Next, please.
Which text? Because I can't see.
okay, you can read from text number 5. So do 5 and 6. Mataji.
Okay, it came. There are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drashtaketu, Chekitana, Kashi Raja, Purijit, Kunti Bhoja, and Shebya. There are the mighty Yuddhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So Mataji, after a long time, your favorite verses came back to you today, right?
Yeah.
Chekitana. Okay. All right.
But for your information, O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhrishrava, who are always victorious in battle.
There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited.
And Smriti Mataji usually is out and she's not able to read, but did she confirm to you, Suyash?
Yes, Mataji.
She's going to read? Okay.
She's not gonna read.
She's not going to read? Okay, I saw her name there.
But
All right.
Aarti Mataji can
Aarti
read.
Mataji is on the phone.
Aarti is also there. Okay, Aarti, can you read?
Sure. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, so 11 and 12.
All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhisma as you stand at your respective strategic point of entrance into phalanx of the army.
Phalanx.
Thank you, Mataji. Then Bhisma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighter, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy.
So then after Aarti, can I go? Suyash? Who's next?
Yes, Mataji, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'll remember that. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells.
Lord.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Mataji. Extremely sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devdatta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Anant Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Sughosha and Manipushpaka. The great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtidyumna, Virata, and the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells.
The blowing of the different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. At the time Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words.
Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here.
These there Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-law and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjun, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow and diva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only cause of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness.
O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandsons, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
O Jagardhana, although these men, Jagardhana,
Janardana.
Janardhana, sorry, Mataji.
No problem.
O Janardhana, although these men, their heart overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with the friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the distraction of the dynasty, the eternal uh, oops, uh, the eternal tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down, because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell.
Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapon in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. So we finished reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter finished our morning ritual of reciting from the Vigyapti Panchika prayers, as well as reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which we should do every day. And so I'd also like to welcome those who joined us later after the start. And on our Facebook, I see Swarup Damodar Prabhu, Namasya Mataji, Shivatsa, Rinku Mataji, Kupali Mataji from the East Coast, and Anandini Manjari Mataji. Please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I also see that on the Zoom call over here, we have been joined. I heard the sounds that we now have Aarti Mataji, we have Garina Mataji, and Ishwari Radha Mataji, and Sonia Mataji also, in addition to those who have been reading with us. Good. So now is the time for us to reflect and tell us what are the words that you caught from first chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
O Krishna, the maintainer of the people. O Krishna, the killer of the kingdom. O Krishna, the infallible one.
Good. So you have taken away a lot today. Okay. What else?
Even though the sons of Dhritarashtra want to kill me, why should I desire to kill them?
Why should I desire to kill them? Okay, good. Very good.
Arjuna said that I have heard from disciplic succession.
Right. See, it's not just I have heard. Where did you hear? I hear it in the I heard it on the television. I heard my 12-year-old son tell me that. No, when you are trying to say something, you have to back it up that it is coming from the Shastras, it's coming from the disciplic succession, right? Yeah. I remember once we were going out to distribute books, and we were in San Ramon, and the person who came there was very, the door was, we could see one look at him and we could see that he's so immersed in material life. He was completely, you could see from his face that he was completely stressed out. But he was polite. He saw people with tilak and all at his door, so he didn't shoo us away. And he asked us to step inside. And we did, and we started telling him about Srimad Bhagavatam. And then slowly the whole family joined, the wife and the kids, they all just stood there. And as we were telling them about Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he was like, but I go to this place and I go there and I do this and I do that. I hear from here and there. And then one of us from our team, said that this Srimad Bhagavatam we can trace and we can tell you from where it's originating and who are the set of gurus who have, explained it, and then opened up the Bhagavad Gita, introduction and showed the lineage, the 31 that are listed in Bhagavad Gita. And you will not believe that was the one point that he raised that switched the whole thing in our favor. Because up until that time, the man was not going to, take the Bhagavatam set. He purchased the entire Bhagavatam set, despite the fact that he told that he was extremely busy with his office work, even having to work on a weekend and things like that. So disciplic succession, it suddenly rang the bell in his head that, yeah, if I'm going to believe in somebody, it has to come from an authoritative source. It just can't come from anyone and anywhere like that. And that's why Prabhupada also says that in the Bhagavad Gita, that why is the need for me to write one more Bhagavad Gita? There's so many copies of Bhagavad Gita going around here, right? But the thing is that, it has to come from the authentic sources. It has to come from the lineage. So sampradaya, is actually means it's a legacy. And the word legacy means gift. So it's actually a gift to us from all of them. So that's one, when we talk about the debts that people have, and I think there was a question that Shashi Shekhar Prabhu had asked a few days ago, that do I, people say that we are indebted to this, I'm supposed to, this person did this to me, my parents did this to me, my uncle this did to me, what should a person do? Is he supposed to take care of all that, or is there some other way out? And among those debts that are listed in the Bhagavatam verses, one of the debts is to our ancestors and to the gurus over here who are actually teaching us all this. So we might not realize that, because we are never in a mood, and we have not ever also been taught to be in that kind of a mood where we acknowledge the writer of a book, right? How many of you went to college? Please tell me by raising your hands. And if you are on Facebook, you can type yes, I did, so that I know you all went to college. Okay, Shashi Shekhar, did you go to college? Okay. And Victoria Mataji, I'm looking for a show of hand there.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Right. So all of you went to some sort of a college, right? And so we read some books there. Can you give me the name of a book that you read? Anywhere from your school?
Law of thermodynamics.
Thermodynamics?
Law of thermodynamics.
Law of thermodynamics. All right, very good.
Human
Anybody else?
anatomy.
Classical mechanics.
All right. What else? These are good books. I've never heard of them.
Electronic circuit and design.
Electronic circuit and design. Okay. Right. And can you tell me the authors?
H.C. Verma.
Hmm?
H.C. Verma. H.C. Verma.
Okay, one at a time. Yeah, in the order in which you told me the books. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to memorize. Oh, just kidding. Okay.
Boyle said.
Morrison?
Boyle said.
Okay, boys. Okay. Yeah. What else? I think
S. Tripathi.
Tripathi. Okay.
H.C. Verma.
H.C. Verma. Okay.
Irodov.
All right. Okay. So when you try to go there and read a book written by, as part of your curriculum, right? So okay, this is a book by Sharma, by Tripathi, by Boyd, so on and so forth, right? So a couple of things. We do that for doctors. Like if you are looking up on your insurance website and you're trying to pick up a physician, then you will want to know from which school have they studied, right? Because you're trying to find out from where did they get that information, right? And the second thing is that which we never do for school textbooks. You might be doing it now, but in my time, that information itself was not available, or might be some fine print that he's a professor in this university and things like that. Oh, but we do that. So in our real life also we do this, right? And so similarly for spiritual knowledge also, we should always know what is the source of the spiritual knowledge that is coming down to us. It's very, very important. And then second thing that we should also do is that we should also acknowledge our gratefulness to them. And that's why for Srimad Bhagavatam, from the first canto, second chapter, verse number 4, it says that Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. So before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, we offer obeisances to, and then the list goes on. And one of the names there is Vyasa, right? So you have to acknowledge the lineage which is there. So that's a very good point that you brought up here. Anusushrama, right? That's the word there in the Sanskrit text, which is saying that I have heard it from the disciplic succession. Okay, so while you are still thinking about that, and let me see what our devotees here are telling us on the Facebook. So, well, it looks like from Facebook, Chaitanya Priya Mataji, she has Hare Krishna, she's joined us, and only Bhagyashri has gone to college. I know many more have done that, but I saw a yes from her. So, yeah, thank you, Bhagyashri, for interacting. Okay, so I just wanted to do a real quick pulse check here. all of you, how you are doing. And so could you please respond to me? Those of you who are watching us on Facebook, you can just type out your response. You can be cryptic. So I got responses from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many do we have, Suyash Prabhu? 9.
We have total of 13.
We have total of 13. 13 individuals logged in there. Okay. So I won't be counted because I can't answer my own questions. Who else is there? So 3 and 3. Okay, don't count the heads. Count the,
Screens.
Yeah, screens. So we have 13 screens. Okay. Some of them are outside. They can't interact with the screen. So that's okay. All right. So I will end the poll now and I will share the results with all of you so that you can see how we are doing. So 3 are feeling transcendental. Isn't that good? What? Right? 3 of you are feeling ecstatic. And then 3 are feeling very good. And 1 is feeling good there. Okay, that's very good. So let me just stop sharing this and let's get going here. So what more thoughts come to your mind? Any other thoughts about the first chapter? Any words that came striking out at you?
The chariot was marked with the flag bearing Hanuman.
The chariot was marked with the flag bearing Hanuman. And what does that mean? What does that signify?
So I think as we discussed that Hanumanji was very devoted a personality, and in this role he got like a very small role to be on the flag, but it signifies wherever there is a pure devotee, that side will win. So
very good, very good.
Increase of unwanted population certainly causes a hellish life.
Okay, increase of unwanted population. Okay. So whose turn is it to read? Who did the last? Was it Man? Who did? Sutapa. Yes, Sutapa. Okay, Sutapa. Do you want to read?
No, Mataji, I already read, so I think it's a pretty Radhika Mataji's turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adharma bhibhivat Krishna pradushayanti kulastriya strishu dushtasu varshaneya jayate varna sankara.
Varna Shankaraha. Okay, very good. Synonyms?
Adharma, irreligion. Abhibhavat, having become predominant. Krishna, or Krishna. Pradushyanti, become polluted. Kula striyaha, family ladies. Strishu, by the womanhood. Dushtasu, being so polluted. Varshniya, or descendant of Vrishni. Jayate, comes into being. Varna, Sankaraha, unwanted progeny.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. Yeah.
Report. Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chankara Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activity should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashram system. On the failure of such varnashram dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence.
Wow, heavy purport. So we had discussed this purport yesterday. Just one point which Preeti Radhika had brought up, which was women are generally not very intelligent, like that. Okay, so I'll open up for reflections on other parts of the purport that we read just now.
Mataji, in the purport, Mataji, in the purport it says, for the betterment of the community and humans, womanhood are required. So it just says what a big pillar they are. Like their well-being affects everyone, and their not well-being affects everyone. So they are like the main pillar, instead of saying they don't have much importance. It's just saying the prime thing for the society.
Right, right. Very good.
Because the children, women always require protection of the elder members of the family.
Can you put the verse up here on this thing?
Say that again. You want the verse up?
Children and women require protection of the elders in the family.
Okay. Good Varshana. I'm just zooming out so that you can see the whole purport and the words here. Okay. What else?
It's Krishna Mataji. It's like the Shwes Prabhu had told the same thing I'm telling, but it's a different word. It's like the super dependency on the women, because they are the expansion of everything. Means once they come, it will expand everything, like from child to like household things also. So the women should be very good, or means they should be like they should not be polluted.
Yeah, super dependency.
Dependency, yes.
Super dependency, yeah. Yeah.
I kind of got that women are supposed to teach kids. Like this is exactly woman teaches kids. Like mother teaches what to do, what not to do, and it depends completely on woman what kind of values she will bring to her kids.
Yeah. So there's so much of importance lay down. So motherhood is not a cakewalk, and parenthood, parenting doesn't mean giving birth to a child, that we are the parents, right? Parenthood continues all your life, even when the kids grow up, right? It's just that the type of questions they will ask will be a different type of question, but our role has to be there all the time, even when we become much older there. Yeah. So talking about dependency, and so why is the rest of the family dependent on the mother? And as you pointed out, Divyangi Mataji, that it's the mother who's telling the kids to do that, to do this and not do that. I mean, isn't the father also there? Can't they also tell like that, right? So these are some of the things that the women take it upon themselves, right? They will take it that I will do it. They'll go above and beyond, and then they will do it. And so there is this service attitude, and service is a part of all of us, right? Because it's wired into the soul. The souls are made that way, like that, to serve the Lord. So the service attitude is there in us. And so here in this world, we also serve those who are representing the Lord, like that. Not as complete representation of Lord, but as partial representations of the Lord. Like, who's going to tell you the rules and regulations, of life? Then the husband is there, right? The king is there, like that. So that service attitude is there all the time. And I was just, remembering once His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj had come to ISKCON of Silicon Valley, and he was in general talking about family life and divorces and things like that. So this was 10 years ago, so when India was much different from how India is right now. And he said that the divorce rate in India is much less. is much less than how it is in other countries of the world. And the reason he gave there was he said that the Indian women, the wives, they serve their husbands a lot more than other countries. There's so much of service they are doing. Can you give me some examples of how women serve their husbands?
Cook for them.
They cook. Okay.
So Mataji, they take care of every small things like left and right.
Like what?
Like every small thing where he should wear or what he should eat.
Okay, what he should eat. Right. What else? How else does a woman support the husband?
Take care of all household decisions also, so they can use their energy better outside.
In other places, right? Yeah. So keeping them away from the nitty-gritties of household chores and things like that, right? Household decisions, right? It's a very good, very, very valid point and very important point, which sometimes gets neglected.
Taking care of the children in the house.
Taking care of the children in the house. Yeah.
Even maintaining outside social relations as well, right? Like at least we see elder women, they decide on how things should be outside and everything. So.
Yes, and even to the extent that, oh, there's a wedding in the family. So how it happens in a typical Vedic kind of a situation is that at some point in time you are supposed to retire, right, from active family life, and of course and then go to the forest. But of course nowadays you can't go to the forest. The first reason is there are no forests left, and the second reason is things are so bad outside. So so you kind of just stay inside the house, but kind of, move away. For example, you're retired, but you'll still be living with your kids. And so after you retired, then the son will take care of the financial aspects of the house. He's the one who's earning, so money comes from there. And then there is a wedding in the family, so you all are going there, and so you have to give a gift, right? So although the son is earning the money and he holds the strings to the family purse, but they will still ask the mom or the elder, how much should we give? So these kind of decisions are still deferred to the elderly there. And talking about helping the wife, helping the husband. So in these days, it's like, when both the husband and wife are working, the wife's contributions are it's very easy to measure how much is the wife contributing. Well, you know what, I bring in $200,000, so do I. Both of us are equal, so I'm doing the dishes, you also do the dishes, right? So it's very easy to measure that. But it's always the intangibles which are which cannot be measured, but which are equally effective in somebody's contribution. So when I came to USA about 25 years ago, so I used to watch a lot of TV because I was holed up in a hotel room. There was no projects available for me, so I was just chilling it out there, watching all kinds of nonsense. And so one of them was I used to watch all these court cases which were there, because I used to find it very fascinating that court proceedings were broadcast on the television. It's something which I'd never seen in India. So I used to go and watch all those things. And one of them was a divorce case that was happening. A very rich and a very successful man was wanting to divorce his housewife. And he didn't want to give her, what she thought she deserved. And then the court laid out the rule, and he said that you could not have become this famous man if it were not for your wife, who take care of all the other aspects of your life. All the other aspects. If you are busy, somebody's taking care of what suit you're going to wear. Did it go to the dry cleaners? Is it hanging in the right place? Where's my underwear? I can't find it. Making sure you have your coffee ready there. So although she was a housewife, she got, half of it. Whatever he earned, half, whatever his assets were, she got half of it. So that's how, how much importance they paid. So Jayadeva Swami Maharaj was saying that the Indian women, in India, the divorces are very, not as much as compared to other countries. And she said that the women, they bind their husbands This is always a question people, when you marry, the question is, how do I bind him? Because we are controllers, right? We want to control, bind them or bind with love, right? Like that. So how do you bind your husband? So he said that they bind their husbands through the service they do. So if one fine day, if the husband decides that I'm going to divorce her, the thought will come to her like, who's going to make sure that there's hot water for me? Who's going to make? Then the list is so huge that the man desist and they say like, it's better not to get divorced. Who's going to do all these things that she does for free, like that? So women have a very, very important role, role in a man's life. And the thing is that Arjuna acknowledges that. Arjuna is a warrior, right? He's a Kshatriya, a very, very manly person. Very, very manly person, right? But look at him. He has a soft corner in his heart. And that is a true test of whether you are a man or not, is determined by how you treat the women in your life.
It is said, no, Mataji, every successful man has a woman behind him.
There you go.
So, yeah, women, they really take care of them, of every aspect of the family, even their relations also.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes it's like, the man will come and say like, I can't tolerate that Chachaji who comes. I can't tolerate that uncle, or that, oh, that lady's coming up here again. Can you please take care of it? And then women, fine speech, right? Fine speech is something that Krishna mentions about women in Bhagavad Gita. So through their fine speech, right? Through their patience. These are the things. Memory, women remember. Right? Oh, who is that person? Do you remember that? Oh, don't you know? We met him there, and she was wearing that sari, and he had that. They remember all that. They will remember that. But remember, they also remember other things like birthdays, which you don't mention and you forget. So like that. So yeah, so that's why Jayadatta Swami Maharaj was saying that it's difficult, which is a good thing. So remember one thing, that even the Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, verse number 34, when you're trying to get information from your spiritual master, he says that vidhi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya, that you have to serve. Always, in so many places also, that service thing is there. Sushusho Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syan Mehat Sevaya Vipra. So he says that if you want to develop the desire for listening to Krishna Katha, it'll only come to you when you develop that service attitude to the Mahat, to the Mahatmas, to the exalted souls. So the service attitude is very, very strong. Very, very strong. And it has its own, it'll have its own effect, right? So going back to our Arjuna, who's there in his battlefield, right? And we can see that the going there in the middle of the two armies had a huge impact on him suddenly, right? Like, oh my goodness, what am I seeing over here? And then he's full of compassion, and he's trying, and he's telling all these things. And I was telling you that a man is known, the greatness of a man is known by how he treats his women. And that is why you will see, and if you're not seeing, you can start observing in general that when our maid servants used to come, and those of you who are from India will relate to that, those from other countries might not be able to do that. But and those of you who have seen India and had maid servants, most of the times they will come home and you'll ask, like, what is this thing mark here? What is this mark on your forehead? Oh, my husband beat me yesterday. Or what happened? Oh, he had drunk some, alcohol, and he always does that. He always beats me and things like that, right? So is he a great man? No. The greatness of a man is known by how they treat the women. And sometimes why they are beating it, because he's frustrated from outside world. So you come inside and then you beat somebody who is helpless or weaker than you are. And that's the way of life, that the strong will overpower the weak of the material world. That is how it is. Ahastani chahastani apadani chatuspadam falguni tatra mahatam. So falguni is the weaker section, and the mahatam is the stronger one. So the weak become prey to the stronger one, just as those who don't have hands, hastani, those who don't have hands become prey to those who have got hands. Those who have got legs will prey upon those who don't have legs, right? So like that, because they can't run fast. So that's why a bird can eat an earthworm really quickly, right? Come sweep, walk and eat it up like that. So that is the way of life, right? Jivo jivasya jivanam. So that's how it is. So they will go to that lower instinct, right, and display the lower instinct. But human beings are different. That's why they say atato brahma jigyasa. So we should be raising our thoughts to a higher level, and taking care. If a woman has been entrusted to you, you should take care of her. That's what the Shastras are saying. And you will see that as men in generally, as you progress higher in the hierarchy, so start watching how the vice presidents of your company talk to their wives. You know, they talk in a different, majorly they talk in a different way, because now the fine things are coming out, because some of the basic necessities of life have been taken care. They're not worried about where I'm going to get my alcohol. There's stock of it already there in the home. They're not worried about this and that, like that. So then the finer things come out, right? But first the basic needs have to be fulfilled. First the food has to go into your food before you can start to enjoy music, right? Otherwise, if the basic instincts are not met, then you are still on that level and you are like that. So the beautiful thing about Arjuna, which I just wanted to point out, and which is something that we should emulate as men, we should emulate. And then of course, in these days of equality with men that we women talk about, and it could also happen that you could be the one who is earning more than your husband. It happens these days, and husbands are okay with it. But then with all that power, that thought can come crack in our minds that, I'm the doer, I'm the big one here. And then how you behave with your spouse could be just the way how how the maidservant's husband behaves. So there are instances of that. So we talk about women being beaten, treated badly, and things like that. But on the other end, there are situations where men are also treated very badly, like that. So it's not something that from this verse we women can go escape free and say, okay, your onus is on men, I'm the woman. This is Kali Yuga. Whereas, it's a joint responsibility for all of us. Or just think that, what, my husband is supposed to bring me up spiritually and he's not there yet. So, I'll just wait for him. No. It is your duty as well, because we said that all souls are female. We said that yesterday, right? All souls are female.
Well, but Mataji, here it is said that they are not very intelligent, that will be discussed, but they are not trustworthy. Mataji, women are very trustworthy, Mataji. They really, look after, they take care of the family, husband, all the members, you see, and still if they are called trustworthy, not trustworthy.
A very, very good point. Very good point. Chanakya Pandit, do you know who was a Chanakya Pandit?
Yeah, he's the most intelligent person.
Yeah, but tell me who he was.
He wrote Niti Shastra.
Okay.
Niti Shastra.
Or Ashoka.
Yeah.
Ashoka.
Yeah, he was a politician, right?
Mm.
Right, who groomed that king, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So Chanakya Pandit says, and Prabhupada often quotes Chanakya Pandit, so that's why I'm quoting Chanakya Pandit. So Prabhupada, Chanakya Pandit says that never trust a woman or a politician. Chanakya Pandit himself was a politician, and he's saying that. He's also saying never trust a woman. Why do you think he's saying that,
So in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada, I think he had mentioned that his wife was very beautiful and she actually left him for somebody else. So he had quoted that these are like having a debt from your father. These are some of the worst things to have and have a beautiful wife. So he adds that to have a beautiful wife is actually a curse.
A good point. Now, will you please clarify? When you said he had a beautiful wife, who did you mean?
Chanakya Pandit.
Chanakya Pandit, right? So we have to be careful when we are quoting, because it came across like where Prabhupada quotes it that he had a beautiful like that. So that's why I just thought, because it's being recorded, it will be heard by people for times immemorial.
But Mataji, this is like just one person experience, and then you are extrapolating it to like the entire woman, right? That's
very good point. Very good point. Very good point. And I'll come to your point, but I just want to see who else are there. I just wanted to welcome all of them. So after Rinku Mataji and Chaitanya Mataji, we also have Anshu Dhaman watching us in Kancham, Kedia. Oh, very nice. Good to have you here. And of course, Rohit has joined us as well. That's fantastic. And Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu is saying that don't take it for granted. Yes, whatever your wife does for you. And Neha Mataji and Vidyavati are saying behind every successful man there is a woman. There's a woman, which Varshana Mataji had also said. And I have a very funny aspect of that. These days, behind every successful man is a woman telling him that he is wrong. I like that. But anyway, I'm just kidding on that. So back to the question that how can you just go by one person saying that, right? And that brings us
Mataji,
the
it's not that
triangle.
one person that, but recent years also we are hearing this comment every now and then,
Yeah,
every moment.
yeah, okay. So very good. Thank you for bringing that point up. So I was going to go into our triangulation, right? The triangulation. So for the purposes of this topic, Chanakya is the guru, right? He's saying something. He said that, beautiful wife is not a very good thing to have, right? And then guru is saying, now you have a doubt. Okay, so when you have a doubt, you have to go to two more places, right? Sadhu and
Shastra.
Shastra, right? So that's what you should always do. So sadhu, you see, Sutapa Mataji said many other people are also saying that. So you should dig and find out who are also the other people who are saying that thing, right? And then Shastra should also say that. Prabhupada just said that, as far as we are concerned, given the time frames that we have, he just said that, it is good enough that if we just read the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam will give you answers to all your questions. And so Srimad Bhagavatam does talk about, what happens to a person's devotional life. What happens to a person's devotional life if he has a beautiful wife? There are many stories there of, what happened to devotees when they have a beautiful life, because it's a material attraction. Yuvati nam yatha yuni, yunam cha yuvato yatha. We do that every morning about that, right? So one of the things about women also is that, why they're saying you cannot trust them. They're saying you cannot trust them because they have more vacho vegam. They won't keep secrets. Right? So how can you trust? If you're going to tell them that, they will go to one lady and say, you know what? I'm just telling you, my husband told me not to tell, but I have to tell you because you're my good friend and please don't tell anybody. And guess what? It just
It will go on and on.
goes
Everybody
on
knows.
and on like that. Yeah, like that. So that's why he's saying that, in general, again, remember the word in general. So don't take it upon yourself that he's pointing fingers at me and, there's something wrong and how can it be said. He's used the word in general. In general, they're talking about, like that. And welcome Raja Prabhu as well as Nirman Prabhu. Glad to have you on the call here. Yeah. Yeah. So any other points?
I just, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to add to that you said that, yeah, women have more vacho vegam. Similarly, I had heard that in India, there used to be very joint families so that elders are, and divorces won't happen is because the whole family takes over and they will counsel this person, that person, husband, wife, both, and they'll make things work. And now we have more and more nuclear family is because women, they don't want to deal with extra interference. So we have more and more nuclear family, and that's why there's no elder guidance. So now even in India, especially in bigger cities, more and more divorces happen. So I just wanted to bring that point.
Absolutely. Very valid point. And then, and why we don't want interference is because we are controllers, and also because of the way the society has changed from being agriculture oriented. We are now all Shudra, so we go and do our own job. But if it's agriculture, if there were fields, then you need as many hands as possible to take care of that. So you will find when there are family businesses that people are holding, then still families will stay together. Maybe they will build a big house, but inside there will be lines demarcating, you live here, and you live here, and you live here, and all of them will have a separate kitchen, and more importantly, everybody will have a separate television to watch. But they still come together there's still those bonds are there because they have to work together because the business is still the same, right? So also because of this change in pattern and how we earn our livelihood, that people can get away by being independent. And then also now to get jobs, if you're going to get a job, then it's like all the jobs might not be available in your city. So you have to now move in your place. So from your town, you have to now move to the metropolitan cities to get the job. So the whole family can follow you. So the husband and wife will be there, and young people not knowing how to handle what life throws at you. And so what are they doing? They are just using their own intelligence, which at that time in any case is bewildered. So they're having a fight. They're both bewildered. They're using a bewildered intelligence. What else can happen there, right? So at that time, what you really need is somebody who's calm and quiet, who's got the experience, but you have nobody to turn to. Who will you turn to? The lady will pick up her cell phone and she will text to her friend who's equally young and inexperienced like that, right? So if somebody is just there in the next room, like Dadaji is there, in the next room. First and foremost, because of Dadaji, you won't fight loudly, at least. So yes, there are so many good things about a joint family. And actually, one of the things that women in general are scared of when they talk about families is that, they're scared that the in-laws will ill-treat them. And I'm not belittling that fact. They do. Because of materialism, rampant materialism, they've started doing that. And so that fear is also there amongst the women. So they don't want to, go and live in a big family. Plus, again, the controlling thing is there. Because nobody's teaching us, both men and both women. Nobody's teaching us. And sadly, the school textbooks are also gone into the ditches, right? I remember when I was growing up, there were stories. There was a book called Hamare Purvaj, which is so important, our ancestors. And there were nice stories of all these fantastic ancestors that we all have. Fantastic stories about them. So you would draw inspiration from them. You would learn from them. For example, the story of Nal and Damayanti, right? They were a royal couple. And then they become so very poor that they don't even have clothes. They don't even have clothes to wear, right? So what they were doing is that the husband and wife would put on the same clothes, half and half. Right? You wear this and I will wear that. And then one day somebody comes to, knock at the door and, can't open the door because half like that. And so at that time, the princess, because they are chaste, and this topic is talking about chastity of women. And so because she's so chaste, she's saying, okay, wherever he is, I will just be there, support him. She did not say that now the money is gone, let me file for a divorce and get whatever I can from this right now and lead my own life with some other man that I will find out, later. So it's very, very important. And also sometimes, when the mind is completely bewildered, like I said, that if your own intelligence is not helping you, then you should go and take the help of other people's intelligence. Other people's intelligence. That is why Arjuna is saying that. And I can tell you that when I came to USA, I was attending a training class, and so all of us were supposed to stand, and as part of the icebreaker, stand up, tell your name and where you are from, and tell us one fun thing about you. So like somebody will say like, oh, I'm Tom, and what do you do, Tom? I do, on weekends, I do bungee jumping. So it's like, oh, wow, you're doing bungee jumping like that, or something like, oh, I worked in a circus, things like that. And there was a very young, employee there, she was 23. So according to me, she was young. But according to the rules here, she was pretty old. And then she said, I'm such and such, and I'm 23 years old, and I still live with my parents. And there was a resounding clap in the whole room. It was like such an applaud there that you're 23 and you're still living with your parents, because the room was full of my age who were parents and missing their children and things like that. So when this young person came and said, I still live with my parent, it was like, what a fantastic thing you're doing. You're so protected. You're living with your parents because you have to come back home every evening. Right? And Arjuna is going to tell, if not already told, that, Sri Shuddhustashu Varshnaya Jayate Varna Shankara is today's verse, right? So from the dushtas that come into a Sri, Because when a man is going astray, the women are supposed to bring him back, through the fine speech and all these nice qualities that she has. It's her job also to do that. But nowadays they don't do that. So Sri Shuddhustasu, Varshini, Hoy Krishna, Jayate Varna Shankara. So one Shankara are born because of the dushtas. And then people say that, many are people, or many children are born over a glass of whiskey. Right? So your mental capabilities are completely gone. You don't even know what you're doing. And lo and behold, there's a child coming your way. That is a Varna Sankara. And what to talk about those kind of extremes? We are all Varna Shankaras, actually, if you look at it from the Shastra perspective, or all Varna Shankaras, because for you to be born in the proper way is the samskara. If a couple wants to go and have children, then they talk about what is garbodhan samskara. There's the consciousness of the parent and the parents, both the parents, has to be brought to a level, so that you can meditate and say that a good soul, please come and take birth, so that we can bring you up in Krishna consciousness. That is the mood in which children have to be conceived, like that. And nowadays, there's nobody to tell you. And that is what Arjuna is worried about. He's worried about that this is going to happen. And it still happened because Kali Yuga came in, and this is a trait of Kali Yuga. Everybody is born a Shudra. But then, when you take your second initiation, if you're lucky to do that, you can jump back and become a Brahmana. And from that level from that mode of goodness, you can then go to the mode of transcendental. Right? 3 people in our team don't have to do that because they said they were already feeling transcendental today. Yeah, already in that mood. So I'm just kidding. Yeah, like that.
Mataji, I come from a joint family. 23 years, the whole family, 4 brothers, 4 babis, my parents, we stayed together in one house, and nobody knew whose child is whose. All the children used to get up, and one person used to make them ready to go to the school. One person was cooking the breakfast, and the other one somebody was polishing the shoes and giving them, and this is how the family went. Before the death of my father, 7 days before my father's death, he divided everything and he told them, please now have your own responsibilities. And he separated them.
Yeah. Because then you go further and then you create your own family and the expansions are there. Yeah. I'd like to offer my humble obeisances to Rasheshwari Leela Mataji, who is watching us on Facebook. And I have to tell you this wonderful thing, that if at all I'm here and if at all I'm telling you things from the Bhagavad Gita, the whole credit goes to Rasheshwari Leela Mataji, because she's the one who kept the Bhagavad Gita in the Indian grocery store. So she is my Vartaman Pradakshak Guru. And actually, one of the points that she had mentioned in one of our discussions earlier was that she was studying, and she does a lot because she homeschools her kids. So she does a lot of that and believes a lot in, following the scriptures when you're leading your married life. And she said that studies are now showing that the stress, and this is for the ladies, the stress that you get from living in a joint family, right? There will be some stresses there. I mean, whenever there are 2 utensils, they will make some noise. Whenever 2 personalities, there'll be some personality clashes, right? And there's newness also. A lady leaves her own home and comes to live in another home, like that. So there are adjustments to be made. There are adjustment time periods which are there. And there are personalities that you're trying to understand, like that. So there is some stress there, right? Or you could be coming from a smaller family and gotten married into a bigger family. So you don't know what it means to cook 59 chapatis in the morning, like that, right? Or as Vashana was saying, one person was taking care of all of them, but it can become overwhelming for somebody. So there is some stress which is over there. But then that stress is less. And of course, stress leads to diseases, right? So that stress is much less than the kind of stress that you have when you are on your own. For example, if you were to go to Varshana's joint family, right? And if Varshana's mom decides that she wants to go to visit her own mom in some other town, if she decides, she doesn't have to worry about who's going to take care of my Tulsi, who's going to water my Tulsi. And I'm saying Tulsi because Shri Mataji is fantastic at Tulsi. Who's going to take care of my Tulsi? What's going to happen to my kids? Who's going to take them to school? Maybe I have to take them with me to my mom's place, right? Because my husband has to do work and he can't handle kids like that. You can think like that, right? Who's going to take care of the kids? Who's going to take care of the cooking for my husband, right? And what if my husband has roving eyes and goes after somebody else while I'm away? All those things are addressed if you're in a joint family. You know, somebody's there to take care that the kids will continue to go to school. They will be fed. Somebody will look over that they do their homework. Somebody will take care of your husband also. And if your husband, tries to do something namby-pamby, then the elders are there to tell them. So you're more safe and you're more secure in that. The stress is much less, and then you can go back home and you can just you can enjoy it free. And I know that once I went to distribute a book and somebody had purchased the book from me on the phone. And I just said, okay, I'll come and deliver it to your home. And the mistake that I made was that I assumed from the age, and I had a conversation with him from the age and whatever you're doing and whatever you're not doing, that there are kids there and the kids can read. So let's take an English version of the book and all that. So I did all that. So I knew that he's a family man. And so then when I went there to his home, I didn't realize that he was alone in his home. And so was I. And I had gotten this big set of Bhagavatam. So I needed his help. I said, please take it out from my car and things like that. And then he said that, my wife has gone to India. And I said, okay. So I said, all right, let's just discuss about Bhagavatam. And the discussion became very, very intense and very engrossed. And he was asking questions, till it became time for the wife to make her routine call from India. And she made the call, and the husband didn't pick up the phone because he was in dilemma what to do. Somebody's telling me Krishna Katha right now. Should I disobey this person, the sadhu who has come into my home, or should I take my wife's call? And after a few minutes, I said, why didn't you take that call? So then he picked up, and then he said to his wife, of course, it was the wife who was calling for the 7th time. He said, I'll call you back. And put the phone down, which must have been very uncharacteristic of him, right? Because all these days when the wife calls, he must be telling her that I miss you, and then where is the food, where is this, where is that, all kinds of questions, and he didn't ask that. And then the conversation continued, and then she called again, and she called again, and then he kept on ignoring. And then I said, no, please pick up the phone, talk to your wife, tell her that you will call. So then he picked up, and the first thing, and then this time he got a little bit more confidence in me, so he put the phone on speakerphone. And the wife said, what's going on? I want to know what's going on. Why are you not picking up my phone? Yes, I mean, and her stress and her concerns were completely justified because the husband has never behaved like that before, right? Because you are alone. You are alone. You are. That's the stress, and you'll want to buy the next ticket and come back to USA, and So yeah, and so these are the worries that Arjuna is having.
Just wanted to add one thing also. I personally feel that it's such a beautiful culture when so many people, just different ages, and it's the kids, they learn so many different things. Even they don't know they're learning, but they are learning just by being in these big families. And also I was thinking from other point of view, it's like when being in these families, it actually teaches us to be not only kind and good to all your kids, right, or whoever your relatives kids, but to everyone. It's like very it's much easier to learn how we should treat all other people around us, and you just grow with that there's not a big difference between your kids and others' kids. It's just kids.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Very nice point. And you also learn how to share, right?
Yeah. You have to, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're an only child, you never know what it means to share. You go there, everything that comes to the house is for you. You don't even have to ask your parents.
Yeah, I'm coming from a very small family, but I remember always watching all these Indian movies. I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing to have a big family.
Yeah.
So now I have huge family. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Man is a social animal, right? We need people around us. Solitary confinement is not good. It's not for everybody. And that's what Prabhupada always says, and especially these days, that don't become a bhajananandi and try to do things on your own. Not all of you are a Haridas Thakur who can carry it on your own. We need people around you at all times in life. And also, there is inexperience. When a child is there, if you have a small baby, you don't know what to do because you don't have that experience. But if there's an elder around you, they will be able to tell you. That, if the child is crying like that, if this is the way the child is crying, then this is hungry. If this is the way he's crying, and there's a diaper rash there, like that, they will tell you from experience. So like that. But then nowadays, now we have a newer wave, right? Newer wave is that the grandparents are also working. And everybody's working outside, so even they are not there. So you can only imagine what's going to happen, and watch and see what is happening. Some of the smart ones are realizing that. And I've also noticed that 25 years ago, when I told you the story of the girl who said that I'm living with my parents, and there was an applaud for her. Nowadays, I've started noticing that some of the kids are saying that no, we don't want to leave our parents' home till we have finished our education, and because they find it, to be financially viable. Otherwise, at 18, if you're kicked out of the home and you have to take care of everything, that when you begin your life, you already have got a debt. Student loans have to be taken care of. You were staying in your own apartment, so that financial aspect is also there. What to talk about the moral degradation that can happen? There's a big chance of that happening. But even from a materialistic perspective, it doesn't make sense. So all things are pointing out to having a kul. And if a kul dharma is not there, then kul dharma is gone, then what to talk about.
Yeah, I actually also was thinking about one point that even though kids can stay with the parents, but this culture should be there. That because nowadays we see that even though they stay in with parents, but there is no respect at all, and they want they just very very materialistic. Very calculative. Like
Yeah.
they like, okay, I don't have to pay for that, but there is no attitude, like good
Yes,
attitude.
exactly. Gratitude and home rules. Like, for example, for me, the home rules are that if you are a kid and you are supposed to come back home by 8 o'clock, and if you are going to be delayed by that, you have to tell me why the delay is happening. Why the delay is happening. Yeah. If you're going here, or if you told me that I'm going to meet, say, Roberta, and then, um, when you went to Roberta's place, and Roberta said, let's go to Sally's place, which is in a different city. Then you are supposed to call back your parents and tell them that I'm not here, I'm there. You are supposed to tell. Some people might say you are doing macromanagement and all that. It's for the child's good, because you are driving now and going to another city. So we'll tell you something more about driving, like that. So parents are there, they have to take care. And home rules are home rules. Kids are supposed to follow the home rules. Yeah. As we have to set the home rules, and for kids to be able to respect us, then we have to be following our rules. The parents also have got some rules, right? Like, if I have got a glass of whiskey in my hands and I'm telling my children, don't drink, it is bad. Why will they listen to me?
Yeah,
And
why
tell
will they
them, how come
listen?
you are doing it, right? So we have to, the onus comes on us first, right?
Yeah, in Bhagavad Gita also, Mataji, it is mentioned that Krishna says that you have
Ooh, we lost Varshana.
so Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we could not hear you, or at least I
But
could.
I'm just saying that Lord Krishna said to Arjuna that I have to act in a manner that others can follow me. So that is also there. The same way that the parents, elders have to do so that children can follow.
Right. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he will say, when he says,
Yes.
you're giving a fight, but what great men do, other people will follow. So if not for anything, then you should fight
Follow.
for that reason. Yeah. Yeah. Very
Hmm.
like that. So I'm just looking at the clock here. It's 7:45. We are way beyond our time designated. So we'll call it a day here. Thank you so much, everybody who has joined us here on the Zoom call, as well as those who have joined us on Facebook here. So Nikunja, thank you so much for joining, and Sakhi Rangadevi Mataji, as well as Nirman Prabhu. In addition to all those others who have been watching us, Danvat Pranams to all of you. Vanchikal Patrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu
Kripa Sindhuvevacha,
Go Prevarande Hari.
Hari Hari Bo.
Have a fantastic day.